Hello there, Kyle Katarn here, coming back with another reaction. Obi-Wan Kenobi, A Jedi's Return. The behind-the-scenes documentary about the Kenobi series just came out today. It is Disney Plus Day, and I'm about to dive right into it. Shout out to Nerd Chronic for editing this reaction for me and sneaking it past the Disney blockade so I can share it with everybody. I really enjoyed the Kenobi series, as you well know because you watched me watch it. But I went into it prepared to have a good time and to see Darth Vader and Kenobi cross sabers once again and how cool that is. But I don't think I was really prepared for how emotional it ended up being, and the confrontation really was masterfully done, and it's definitely earned its place as one of my favorite Star Wars shows. So I'm really excited to dive into the behind the scenes. I'm also halfway through the Light and Magic documentary right now too. So this is awesome. I'm getting so many behind the scenes treats right now. Without further ado, Obi-Wan Kenobi, A Jedi's Return. Do it!
Do you feel that it has presented any particular challenges to you?
Challenge from top to bottom.
Wow. This footage is special.
George Lucas suggested to me something of a samurai warrior, something of a wise
Oh, look at him
man,
smiling.
kind
I
of-
feel like he's my grandpa, you know?
I came from this very small town in Scotland, and me and my brother, we went to the big city to watch it.
God, I want to watch Star Wars on the volume.
This series is special because it's a character that I loved playing back in the day, and I get a chance to do it again.
God, the set is so elaborate. It's so cool. And it blends so seamlessly into that virtual background behind it.
Taking on the series for me,
God, that's
it
so
was
cool.
hugely an honor, but at the same time, I also need to tell a story, and I can't copy what George did. I'm not George, so I have to tell my own story with these characters. So it's
Nor should you try to. I mean, we've already got George's story. We need new stories.
Ewan was kind of the exact right age to play this character again.
That is a really cool detail, the way he has aged naturally to the perfect place to where he needs to be to bridge that gap between him and Alec Guinness.
Hi, how are you? You alright? The crux of the story is that you carry on with a kid and you're sort of saying, okay, I'll do it, but you're really not up for it, but you do it anyway.
I had to walk around the studio with George.
I'm just
We went
speechless
into
at this
stage.
footage. This is so special to be able to see these early moments. The
And
bongo!
Preston and I ended up in,
I want that.
and I was so excited. I looked up at it, and I went, George, will we go underwater? He just looked at me and he went, what? And I said, will we? It's none of it real, you know. And a little part of me went, oh. And then later on, we went into the props making department, and the props master brought this.
I've seen this
box,
footage before. This is very famous. Choosing the hilt.
and I got to choose my one, you know. And that was a real moment where I realized what was going on, you know, that this was an important moment to pick Obi-Wan's lightsaber. I think I
Iconic.
just imagine the scale of it. It's so interesting now, 20 years later, the love that there is for those films from the generation who they were sort of made for, the children then. And that's lovely. It's nice that feeling coincides with making the series.
I'm so glad that that is his take on it and that he knows that the prequels are loved. Yes. Oh, amazing. This is my favorite part of the whole documentary. Time clock gonk was played by an actual person. Amazing.
Like taking a corner and maybe doing like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would fit in my pouch, yeah.
And the meat bricks are made of like a silicon that you can actually cut.
We were really trying to do a series that was really focused on Ben Kenobi, the man. The Jedi is part of the identity, but really it was about him.
Yeah, I feel like that was conveyed.
These Inquisitors were first introduced by Dave Filoni in his animated series, Rebels. So this is the first time in live action for them. The Inquisitorius is an organization that was created by Emperor...
I wonder if they're going to say anything about adapting his visual design. I think he did an incredible job, the performance-wise, as Inquisitor.
The Grand Inquisitor is a former Jedi Knight and Temple Guard who turned to the dark side. Fifth Brother is a powerful warrior, and he's the natural successor to the Grand
I
Inquisitor.
can't think of a more explicit acknowledgement of the fact that these people know the Rebels' backstory of the Grand Inquisitor, you know?
The story of Reva was an interesting one for us, and this was a character that I was really excited about.
The first day going to costumes and putting on the suit, it blew my mind.
Nice. Oh, that's cool.
Led all by her heart, the choices.
Whoa, look at that perspective change. That's crazy.
Move with your
Seeing the
heart.
volume in action like that.
It's cool to be nice, but it's also cool to.
Just gotta throw that
see
out there.
Different people inhabit villains.
Absolutely. I think villains are always kind of more fun to play. You get to really ham it up.
We were fortunate to have both Joel Edgerton and Bonnie
Hell
return
yes.
for us. So it was kind of amazing to get both of them to come back and reprise these roles.
Joel Edgerton is just a solid badass, and Bonnie Peace is out here like bringing down cult leaders.
20 or so years later, it felt like something special for them coming back.
Absolutely.
I was excited to see you.
Good.
Yeah,
Goodness.
I really was. And I got a little like, oh my God, Joel's here when you came into the.
God, look at all the concept art on the walls.
But as soon as I stepped on the set, it felt pretty relaxed, really.
Yeah, it's been an incredible environment.
I mean, people have like a real love for Star Wars, and it touches them deeply in their soul.
Yeah, they really did flesh out and change the way people think about Owen and Beru in A New Hope, Like, they really showed that they are rugged, hardy people, and they are badasses,
I love the fact that everyone thought there would be a story about Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker, and nobody knew that this was the story about Obi-Wan and Leia.
Yeah, that was the assumption. She killed it, too. Young Leia, excellent performance.
One of the things that really drew me to the project was the father-daughter story of it all. Because my dad, growing up, he was a very pivotal person for me. He used to watch a ton of Asian action films. He loved them, and he had a huge collection of movies. So I think I absorbed a lot from that.
I expect all future interviews to be filmed in the volume with these sweet landscape shots, by the way. This is cool.
When I was growing up, I was a huge fan of the Muppets, and I really love sort of fantasy and sci-fi. I like anything that's sort of weird and wonderful and kind of goes into a different direction.
This person would be amazing. A vendor for shoplifters.
Get your hands off of me! I thought we were friends! I gave you a ride!
Because it's there and you feel it.
That's crazy. So they, like, mocapped his face and used it to make the... That's nuts.
And Daiyu is one of my favorite planets. Shady characters, lots of colorful creatures, a lot of illegal activity going on there.
Very Nar Shaddaa vibes.
When I meet Leia, all business. It's just all about getting her back to Bail at the beginning of our story. There's that frustration again. There's the sort of like Obi-Wan's got that sort of reluctant teacher, parent feeling with Leia.
Which fits so naturally.
Kamal plays a character called Hadja, who's a sort of trickster.
I got pushed into a wall much harder than I thought I was.
I was going to say, that looked really hard.
And it was awesome, but also I forget what day it is.
Man, they really slammed him. That was great.
Okay, this is probably all this guy knows. So his force gestures, it's very theatrical. Because the people he's dealing with also probably haven't run into Jedi. So it's just his version of it.
Right, it's an approximation because he hasn't seen it himself.
Obi-Wan and Leia are all on the run.
That moment was hilarious.
I play Tala, and she's actually kind of the equivalent of the French resistance. She sees a man who's sort of given up, who's lost his mojo, and she tries to galvanize him to face his past.
He has lost his mojo. You could have called this show How Obi-Wan Got His Groove Back,
No, I like my fit. I'm out here dripping. Roken is leading what we hope will eventually become what we know as the rebellion. This is kind of like the first chapter. I'm losing my mind. I'm trying to keep it cool. I'm trying to do the acting thing. But yeah, I'm having a good time.
How could you not be,
And to this day, I still listen to certain songs. I really like Duel of the Fates. I mean, I want that played at my wedding.
Nice.
My
Seriously,
whole family
when they build a physical set of windows and then have the volume outside it being like the distance, that's when it's crazy. Holy shit, the windows weren't even real. They keep getting me. They keep fooling me. It looks so good. I know they did that for the Alderaan scene. They built a physical room and then had the volume out the windows.
One of the most important people in his life is Anakin Skywalker.
Of course.
Hello there. How are you? Good.
All right.
Good. Yeah, good.
No, that's great.
It's a surreal world to play in and be a part of. I did those films many years ago, and still, if I go out in public, it's hard to not have some interaction with someone where
Oh, sure.
they express
I mean,
what-
you are Anakin now, forever.
I remember auditioning for the films with no sort of concept that like I could actually get the part. You know, walking by a mirror and being like, you know, yeah, I'm a Jedi Knight. That's, you know, it was incredible.
I'm glad he remembers the filming fondly.
A big part of the thrill of coming back to this for me was the idea that I was going to get to do it with Ewan.
Oh.
He is someone I'm extremely fond of.
They became
and
like best friends
he had a
filming
big
these movies.
impact on me when we were making those films.
Call my young Padawan.
We spent a lot of time together and had a lot of fun together.
Oh, it turned out great.
This is particularly nice.
I mean, you warned me. You had the high ground.
I had $1 for every time someone's told me I had the high ground.
This is a character that has come to define my life in so many ways.
Oh, right, because he had to wear the
Professionally and
prequel's costume again for the vision that Obi-Wan saw.
My first
Incredible.
day on set was a really
It looks like you just
special
walked out of
day.
Revenge of the Sith.
I was Anakin from Episode 3 era.
Yeah.
Ewan had already finished for the day, and that they were trying to send him home, but he was insisting on staying to be there for my first shot back.
Nice.
I was looking for him. I was like, where is he? I was like, I can't really see him, and so I shouted to him. I was like, Obi-Wan! I saw a hand go up, and then I really, you know, felt his presence.
Man, that's so special. That's adorable. These two.
It was a very emotional thing. Well, not just reuniting as these characters, but also as friends. It was like going back in time. It was so cool.
It was moving. It was emotional to work with him again.
It's emotional just for me just to see their friendship, you know? Using an actual natural glow on the sabers is like the best decision they've ever made.
I was looking over at Hayden. He just looked exactly as I remember. I'm standing there with dots in my face. There's the de-aging people in the background going, what are we going to do?
What I was most excited by was the idea of exploring the character of Darth Vader at this point in the timeline. He needs to kill Obi-Wan to kill that part of himself and become the Sith that he knows he needs to be.
Right. It's a little.
I came on set.
It's a little rampage scene.
This mining village set.
Yeah, it totally
There's
is.
like loads of people standing around.
I heard the body count was actually higher when they originally filmed it.
I'd done some rehearsal with Vader in his costume, but I'd never rehearsed with him with the helmet on. And I'm walking, and then I hear his feet, and I turn around, and Darth Vader is coming at me.
God, he looks so good.
It was real, like, boyhood fear. It was like,
That's cool.
It's the first time I've lit my lightsaber in a long time.
Essentially, Vader is much stronger than Obi-Wan at this moment, and he really kind of kicks his ass and burns him in the fire, and, you know, a lot of the history is coming up with the fire.
It's so petty. It's so fucking petty. You burned me, I'm gonna burn you.
Very like Darth Sidious.
Oh my god, right?
It is a lot to play somebody who's on the dark side. They're driven by anger and hate, and so it's not an easy place
He's
to
gonna get in the
stay
back
as
of the
a
tank.
performer.
They're gonna actually submerge this dude. Look at that commitment. Man, Hayden really worked for this role in this series. The things he had to do. I hear the Vader suit itself is very uncomfortable to wear.
I've always thought that Princess Leia, honestly, is one of the best female characters that's ever been written, and that's also combined with Carrie Fisher. Carrie, in Princess Leia, you had somebody that was a rebel, was a fighter, but she was also intelligent, she was funny, but she could also be warm, she could be loving. You know, there's obviously been a lot of focus on Luke Skywalker and his contribution to the galaxy, but I feel like with Princess Leia, I don't think he could have done it without her.
Agreed.
But Vivian just kind of had the essence of her, and I think that was the main thing.
Try to reason with her.
Vivian was brilliant, just brilliant to work with.
You know, I can feel you doing that.
She had all of the...
She really did such a killer job.
I actually started on the Star Wars books, and I learned how to read with those, and they were Star Wars. Of course, the moment I saw him on the page, I fell in love with R2-D2.
She's so adorable. She learned to read with Star Wars. Talk about like starting in the beginning. That's amazing.
Why are you using your lightsaber?
Because we're in hiding.
Convenient. Unless you can't do Jedi stuff and that lightsaber is completely stolen. Make me float.
And she loves droids more than anything in the world.
Sure, having a kid on set with a bunch of real droids. Absolutely adorable. Oh my goodness.
And although Obi is not a father, that's what she brings out of him through the arc of our series. And at first, he doesn't trust her to be able to look after herself, so he's found a trust in her. And she brings out a more human side to him.
I think that's one of the biggest strengths that Princess Leia has as a character, is not just, you know, the strengths that she has, but the inner strength that she brings out in the people around her, you know? The way she rallies the rebellion. God, this fight was so incredible.
We looked at a lot of the prequel fighting because we wanted to tie into it to show this is sort of the origins and this is how they're trained.
Obi-Wan gets the upper hand in the fight and cracks Vader's mask. Sees his
that's
former
awesome.
apprentice one last time, tries to...
What up, Doug Chang?
He's able to walk away from carrying this terrible guilt. He sees that Anakin is no longer there, that Vader is Vader.
Show that, you know, sort of this emotional drive that Vader has about Obi-Wan is that that's something that he has to let go of.
Yes.
In the final scene with Vader.
Oh my God.
Perhaps your feelings for your old master have left you weakened.
Incredible.
Because obviously we can play that sort of with more of an edge.
And this is great. And they just did a directed session from wherever Ian McDermott is.
Yes, I think so. I keep forgetting the word execute for some reason. You think that would be a word you would remember?
Yeah, you of all people. Something 66.
At the end of our series, there's a great growth from his sort of broken, faithless man at the beginning to the end. He's had to accept that this is who he is. And Qui-Gon does finally appear, yeah. So amazing to see him again as Qui-Gon, you know. It's just incredible.
Wait a minute, it's 24 years since we made the Phantom
A
Menace.
long time.
But here we were with a whole brand new crew. Deborah, it's wonderful.
Look at these shots of them together.
And he's back to being the Obi-Wan that we knew and loved. And it's because of Leia, and it's because of characters like Tala who bring hope back to him. A new hope.
Come on. Oh, Ewan.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That is a wrap.
Cigars left over from when my wee boy was born. Disney won't like this very much, will they? I don't think there's anything like Star Wars. It's just everywhere. It's extraordinary how large the breadth of it is. It's important, I think, to be mindful of that. There's certainly nothing that I've ever done that has a fan base like this.
Sorry about that.
It's been a great honor and a privilege to get to play this character. The gift that George Lucas gave me when he cast me in this role, it was profound. Coming back now to do more with this character, I've just felt a big responsibility.
I love that all that makeup is practical. Like, he looks so good.
We learn about good and evil and what it is to be a hero, giving yourself to something bigger than you. It's exciting to see the saga continue.
It's in everybody's life. Everybody's grown up with it in some respect.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
The Star Wars audience, there's so many different generations involved in it, and there's so many people who care so passionately about it. I feel hugely fortunate to be able to do this, but also a big responsibility to trying to do it right.
Nice. That was awesome. That was really cool. I actually kind of forgot to talk for a while there because I was just very drawn into what I was watching here. It really was such an emotional experience for everybody, clearly the people involved, but also us at home watching, seeing Obi-Wan and Anakin share the screen again, seeing Vader again, all of it. All of it! Yeah, that was amazing. And I think more than anything else, it makes me want to go back and just rewatch Kenobi again and appreciate it again because, man, it really was so good. Oh, this was great. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my reaction. This reaction has been edited by Nerd Chronic to sneak it past the Disney blockade, but if you want to check out the full-length uncut version, there's a link in the description of the video to my Patreon page. Thanks again, and as always, may the Force be with you.